On June 24, 1992, the doors of one of America's most haunted mental hospitals were closed. The place, which was supposed to heal people, ended up being abandoned and forgotten. In 2007, most of the building was torn down, erasing much of its dark past. The remaining patients were quietly moved to other facilities, leaving behind only empty halls and haunting memories. What happened behind the closed doors of this terrifying institution? Why do people say it's one of the most haunted places in America? Is it true that the spirits of tortured patients still roam the dark hallways? How did a place meant to heal become a symbol of fear and misery? And what does the asylum look like today, after being abandoned for over a century? In this video, I'll cover all these questions about the dark history of Danvers State Hospital. So exactly what happened behind the closed doors of this infamous asylum? Danvers State Hospital was once a place where people hoped to find help, but the reality behind its closed doors was far different. Built in 1878, the hospital was meant to treat patients with mental illnesses. However, as the years passed, the hospital became overcrowded, and the care of patients turned from treatment to something much darker. With over 2,500 patients crammed into a space meant for 600, the conditions quickly became inhumane. Patients were often left in small, dirty rooms, sometimes tied to their beds for days. The hospital became known for its harsh treatments, including electroshock therapy and lobotomies, which were often performed without proper care. These procedures left many patients with permanent brain damage. The staff, overwhelmed by the sheer number of patients, could do little more than control the chaos, leading to a place where fear and suffering became the norm. Life inside the asylum was more about surviving the day-to-day horrors than finding any real healing. But why is it one of the most haunted places in America? The hospital's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America comes from the countless stories of paranormal activity that have emerged since its closure. Many believe that the intense suffering experienced by the patients left a dark energy that still lingers in the building. People who have explored the abandoned hospital report seeing ghostly figures, hearing unexplained noises, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. The hospital's dark history, combined with its eerie atmosphere, has led many to believe that the spirits of the patients who suffered there are still trapped within its walls. Some say they've heard whispers in the empty halls or seen shadows moving out of the corner of their eye. Others describe cold spots that appear suddenly, even on warm days, or objects that move on their own. The hospital's underground tunnels are especially feared, with reports of strange noises and ghostly apparitions. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories surrounding Danvers State Hospital are enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Are the spirits of tortured patients still roaming the halls? The question of whether the spirits of tortured patients still roam the halls of Danvers State Hospital is one that has fascinated paranormal investigators for years. Many believe that the intense emotions and suffering that took place there created a kind of energy that has kept the spirits of the patients trapped. These spirits, some say, are still searching for peace, unable to move on from the place where they experienced so much pain. Stories of ghostly encounters at the hospital are common, with visitors reporting seeing figures in old hospital gowns, hearing cries or whispers, and even feeling as if they are being watched. Some have captured strange images or voices on recording devices, adding to the belief that the hospital is still home to the spirits of its former patients. The hospital's dark history, combined with the decaying, haunted environment, makes it easy to believe that something otherworldly might still be lingering in its halls. But how did a place meant to heal become a symbol of fear? Danvers State Hospital was originally built with the hope of helping those who were suffering from mental illness. The hospital's design was meant to provide a calming environment, with large windows to let in light and gardens where patients could relax. But as the number of patients grew, the hospital became overcrowded and understaffed. The focus shifted from healing to simply managing the large number of people who needed care. This led to neglect and the use of extreme treatments that were more about control than healing. The hospital quickly gained a reputation as a place of horror, where patients were mistreated and left to suffer. The once beautiful building became a place of fear and darkness, with stories of abuse and mistreatment becoming more common. By the time the hospital closed in 1992, its legacy was not one of healing, but of pain and suffering. The stories that emerged from Danvers State Hospital turned it into a symbol of everything that can go wrong when people are forgotten and mistreated. What does the asylum look like today? Today, Danvers State Hospital is mostly in ruins. After it closed in 1992, the building was left to decay, with nature slowly taking over. The once strong walls are now cracked and crumbling, and the paint is peeling away in large strips. Windows are broken, and the roof has caved in on parts of the building. Inside, the floors are covered in debris, broken glass, rusted metal, and old hospital equipment that was left behind. Despite the decay, some parts of the hospital's past still remain. Old hospital beds, wheelchairs, and other equipment are still scattered around, covered in dust and cobwebs. These remnants of the past make the hospital feel like a ghost town, where time has stopped, and the past is still very much alive. The eerie atmosphere, combined with the hospital's dark history, makes it one of the most haunting places you could ever visit. Now here is the most important question. Is it open to the public? Most of Danvers State Hospital was demolished in the early 2000s, and the site was redeveloped into apartments. However, some parts of the original hospital still stand, including the tunnels and a few of the older buildings. But because these remaining structures are in such poor condition, the site is not open to the public. There are security measures in place to keep people out, and trespassing is not allowed. Despite the restrictions, the hospital still attracts people who are curious about its haunted past. Those who have managed to sneak in describe it as a terrifying experience, with the dark, decaying hallways and strange noises adding to the sense of fear. The tunnels, in particular, are said to be the most haunted, with ghostly figures and unexplained sounds reported by those who dare to enter. While the hospital may not be open to the public, its dark reputation continues to draw the attention of those interested in the paranormal. The Danvers State Hospital is a place where history, tragedy, and mystery all come together. The stories of suffering, mistreatment, and the eerie remnants left behind have turned the hospital into a legend, known as one of the most haunted places in America. If you are a curious mind like me who enjoys exploring the dark history and mysteries of unusual places, check out this video on the most haunted and forbidden places on Earth. Click to dive even deeper into the world's most terrifying and off-limits locations. You won't want to watch it alone.